so damn many open fillers, triggers and shoot out anything to give you the hook. Roll you in, struck you down and fucking throw you the book. Right now, there's multiple killers.
Who we were just discussing the fact we haven't been in the same room in well over 5 years.
It has been a minute.
God, it really has. I was trying to think. I'm really like, it had to have been at Subrosa. It has to have been, because I can't think of anywhere else we would have been. I mean, I picked people and dropped people off at Sid's, but I don't think I ever went in, and I don't think it was ever even it was like a wave as I went by as I threw somebody out the car. So I don't think it was ever any of those. Yeah, it's been a fucking minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
We've both been through like 4 hairstyles, and probably a combined weight loss gain of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So there is that. So so let's do a quick catch up with you. I'm trying to remember. I know the first time I saw you, but I can't say we technically met.
Oh, let's see. I know that it was, so I think the very first time I met you was November of, oh god, what year is it? It was after the burial. I know that. Before Justin had passed. Whenever that was.
Yeah.
That was like 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. 22? Yeah.
Yeah.
29 now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those, like, see, because I just remember, the first time I actually saw you, you ran over an entire pile of people in the pit to try and get on stage. I was like, I'm gonna be friends with that dude, because he don't give no fucks. No, that was the first time I very distinctly remember seeing you going, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because it was. You just monkey climbed over a fucking pile of people. Yeah. Remember David and everyone looked like, what the fuck? Why is that guy on me? But, and then, did Chad hire you at the Mesa?
Yes.
So Chad hired you.
Chad hired me at Mesa after, oh god, it was my old band Forsberg and then Bold Type from Denver. It was just a lounge show. And my ex-girlfriend tried to fight someone, and I'm like mid-performance holding back my ex and still performing.
I see why Chad hired you. I just remember you showed up one day and like, I work here. I'm like, the fuck you do? I'm like, no, seriously. You're like, here's my shirt. Oh, go do this then. I remember that. But so yeah, we worked together under Andy.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what prompted you coming to live with me.
I was too far away from downtown.
That's right, because you and I were always on load in since I was doing all the booking and stuff. So you were like, you needed a ride, you needed this. So yeah. So you're like in the top 2 roommates I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like Bill Topp's the only one I can say was, and it's only because I would forget he lived with me.
Yeah.
I'd see him all the time, but I just completely forget he lived there because he was so just independent of everything I ever did.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, no, you lived in the studio room and the couch downstairs and kind of wherever you fell asleep. And that was for like, almost a year, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think about like 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you were still there when Becca and I broke up.
Yeah.
For a couple months.
Yeah.
After. When I was never there.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand being in the house. That's one of those things that I look back on still, and I'm like, how did I rent a house that I had no control of?
That was strange times.
Was. Man, we woke you up some of the most fucked up ways, though. Like, we really did.
There's that picture of me passed out after a show, and there's a chair on top of me in the studio room.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Mike did that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the day Mike fucking cocked his pistol and woke you up, like, bitch, get up! That was a fun one. Shooting you with all the Nerf guns, throwing shit at you. I remember throwing water at you.
I don't remember that one.
Megan threw a cat at you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a rivalry.
Then there was the day we locked you in the bathroom by stacking up all the chairs down at the theater.
Yeah.
Man, we got mommed that day. That was the day Michelle came. What are you guys doing? Having fun. Who's in there? Does it matter? Yes. It's Derek. I'll leave him.
Yep.
No, that was. God, we were not nice to you.
Yeah. I had it coming to me.
How did you never like kill us in our sleep?
Just too chill, man.
Yeah.
I was at a point in life where I just wanted to work at a venue and hang the fuck out.
And we definitely did that. I was thinking the other day, I tell the stories about like being downtown and the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like an old fuck when I say that, like, it used to be so. Yeah, it's like, when there's 1,000 people in line, you don't even understand. And, you know, I talk about being 4 deep at the bar and being like, is it ever going to end? People are like, man, I need a smoke break. When's the last time you smoked a cigarette? 8 hours ago. Just break a cigarette and spit it in my mouth. Like, I remember that kind of shit. But
Yeah.
I talk about that stuff, and people are like, oh, that's stupid. That never happened, whatever. And I work with Brandon, who used to manage Rock Slide, and then he was the manager, and then he was the manager out at Old Chicago's too. And we talk about it sometimes, and we talk about the downtown Nerf War.
Yeah.
And I always come back to you because every time I saw you, you would do the Darth Maul theme. And people think that I'm crazy when I say that. They're like, no, nobody, what? It's like, no, seriously, he would just whistle it loud as fuck, just like, and just charge at me from out of nowhere. And they're like, what the fuck? And I was trying to think of all the stupid stunts. Like, I started thinking about it, like being on the roof of the Mesa and like hopping around, jumping down on the fucking awning.
Yeah.
There's a time I made you strip down into your boxers and swim in the gutter on Main Street when it was raining really hard, and it was the Scarab show, and it got shut down because they shut down all the roads because everything was flooding, and we were standing up front yelling. It was one of the first times you asked somebody if they'd like to speak, if they had time to speak to you about your Lord and Savior Cthulhu.
I don't remember.
There's all those homeless people sitting underneath the awning right outside, and you just went up and acted like a preacher to them, and then
That was a very sunny day, though. I remember.
It was really fucking sunny and really ridiculous. And then it started pouring raining, and you were like, what the fuck is this? And it was like day 13 of 15 shows in a row, and you're like, we were delirious, and I was like, I will give you $5 if you will swim in the gutter. And you fucking stripped your shirt off, dropped your pants. I think you kept your shoes on.
Probably.
It was one of those there's got to be somebody that has video of that somewhere. Because either Lauren or Ben or somebody's got video of that.
Someone has to.
Because everything stupid we did, we were caught.
Yeah.
We never did anything stupid on purpose or on accident with somebody watching us going, this is going to be fun. How often do you think you got hurt doing stupid shit that we did?
Oh, I never got hurt.
You lucky bastard.
I never got hurt, except for my thumb. Except for Buck Cherry's drum riser obliterating my thumb.
That really did. That was gross. I don't get grossed out. That was gross.
Yeah, no. It's
So,
a lot of dumb shit that happened.
Yeah.
So.
From back then, what were your favorite shows?
Watching Protest the Hero from the Raptors. That was the coolest day there.
That Protest Hero, man, that's the best show nobody saw.
Yep. Oh god, fucking Night Versus was on that.
Yeah.
God, who else was on that? I want to say it was Thera, but I don't think it was Thera.
No, Thera came in a couple days later. They're fucking amazing too, though.
Oh, it was the boys in Battlecross.
That's right. It was
the first time
Battlecross.
Battlecross.
First time they came through, and we sat there and fucked around, and they thought we were nuts because we were throwing pizza at each other. God, that's in my top 5.
Yeah.
That show was one. I wish people would come, but I don't regret anything that happened that day.
It was just a chill day.
Yeah. That day, Betraying the Martyrs is one of my top favorites too.
Yeah. Playing with them was really fun.
Yeah.
And the other one is probably that Suicide Silence show. Just like that was just a day.
It really was.
It was a day I did not have to work, and drinking a bottle of Jaeger. I think that's the last time I drank.
Oh, you got sick.
Yeah.
You got sick.
I was cringe. hard cringe.
Where's the video of us drinking the fucking hot wing sodas and bacon sodas and shit? Is that on Facebook?
That is on Facebook.
I just remembered that happening.
I just watched it the other day too.
Every once I see it, I
It
forget.
popped up on my memories.
I do so much stupid shit with certain people. It's like you and me and Zach. Every time we were around each other, like let's go do something dumb, and then we would find whatever dumb thing we could do.
Oh, it's in here somewhere.
I don't know. That was just I completely forgot about that until right now.
Zach chugging the rest of it.
Yeah, just and looking at us like bitches.
I thought it was decent.
It wasn't horrible. The bacon one was gross. I'm not a big fan of bacon though, so like, yeah, that was gross. Work, bitch. Do your job. Man, my phone keeps ringing and I don't know who's calling me. Sunday, leave me alone. I don't know if Sunday matters to anybody at this point.
I don't think it does.
I don't either. I mean, it barely matters to me. It's just another day of the week. I mean, do you ever feel like you get a day off?
Yeah, no. I specifically take like Saturday off and like not do shit.
Good. Good for you.
My time is very important to me. I've done a lot of mental health organization for myself to like not be overloaded anymore.
Do you ever think that you're just like you seem like you're like a 60s surfer, man? Like were you born in the wrong decade?
Probably.
I mean, the music part of it, I yeah, you're in that, but
yeah.
Other than that, I gotta wonder.
I think I was born in a landlocked state.
Fair. Fair. I mean, that's fair. I don't know, man. You've always been pretty zen.
Fucking.
Till you're not.
Until I'm not. No. I don't know. I think that's just like a part of like how I grew up and shit. It's like moving everywhere. It's like you just get used to whatever's in front of you. There's no real reason to stress about it anymore.
That's valid. Maybe that's why we all work together so well, because between you, Pete, Ben, Chad, like, pretty much anything could get thrown at us, and instead of freaking out, we're like, okay, and then?
Yeah. What's next?
Hey, Chad, will you crawl in the sewer? Yeah, sure. Whatever, man.
Oh, God. What, the bathrooms were leaking?
Yeah, when the entire sewer line downtown in Grand Junction froze, and they didn't want to take care of it, so we did.
Yeah.
I'm still not a big fan of anything City of Grand Junction.
I'm not a big fan of anything past the mountains.
Fair. That's
Ever
fair.
since I moved to Denver, I'm like, I miss the heroes. That's about it.
That's a good thing to miss.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Dude, their miso soup. I dream about that shit. It'll just randomly pop up in a dream, and I'm like, that's miso from here. What the fuck? Pretty sure I was just thinking in porn, and where the fuck the soup come from? I don't know. It's different now.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, and I have a lot of friends over here in Denver that I talk to, but Denver handled things so well over the last 18 months that even though there was lockdowns and shutdowns and all these different things, it doesn't feel like when it started coming back, it was so drastically different.
Yeah.
Mesa County kind of went, fuck you, we're not following the rules, and everything fell apart.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to talk about it.
There's a lot of things that people in Grand Junction don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
Yeah. The drug problem, the systemic racism, the
Mhm.
fucking fact that the city attorney's been in power for the last however fucking long. I don't know.
It's so weird. Like I haven't been back to Junction. I think the last time we were in Junction. Okay, that was like 2-3 years. It'll be 3 years this year, I think. Because we came through. When I say we, me and Wall of Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
We did like their first like 3-day tour of like little run, just like, hey, fuck it, go do stuff.
Go do stuff, yeah.
um,
Here, little bird, yeet.
like the last day of it, we were in Junction and we played at Black Dahlia.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the last time I was in Junction.
So you really just stayed at the theater and did your thing and...
Theater, Heroes.
Yeah. Maybe
Getting
go
the
grab a
mango.
coffee around the corner and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. And I mean, I quote unquote live there,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't go downtown unless I have to.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's not. I don't think it's the same.
It's not the same at all, and that's what gets me is that people talk about it like, oh, it could be, and the city's pushing so much shit at Las Colonias, and don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's an amazing project, and finally they did something right. So I give them credit on that, but the best bar in town is the strip club. It's $1 to $1.50 more per drink than some of the other places in town. Some of them it's the same price.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Bin, and you got 66, you got the good restaurants still, you got Suhiro.
Yeah.
And honestly, the Irish pub's got pretty good food. But
Irish pub down. There's another one.
they opened up in the same spot the old one was.
Which
and it's
one?
where the local was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were.
Not Nagy's, no.
Okay.
No, dude, I miss Nagy's. Fuck, I miss Nagy's. That place was amazing. Yeah, I even miss hearing Vanessa yell at people. I miss that. But it's when you go downtown, you can't bar crawl, really.
Yeah.
Because there's, where Barron's used to be, there's the place that it is now, which I can't even remember the fucking name. You got Paul's spot. Sierra's is down at the end there by the Mexican place. You got some places, but it's bar, 4 businesses.
Yeah.
Bar, block and a half. Bar across the street. Go over to Colorado Ave. Bar, come back to Main Street. It's so far between now, and it's so broken up, and nobody talks to each other.
Is Charlie still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the one staple down there, but even that doesn't feel the same because they actually, of course, take the rules seriously and actually follow the state mandates, and that makes people go, oh, that's the liberal place. It's like, duh, all the drag shows didn't tell you that, you stupid fucks. Like,
I love Liz.
that's why I love Liz, because she literally went, fuck you, I got this. And that's just who she is.
Yeah.
And she's unapologetic about it. That's why we'll always love her. It's why I loved Carrie to an extent, was because Carrie was just kind of like, fuck the system, I'm doing my shit, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we all kind of maybe go a little too fast? Absolutely, we all did.
Yeah.
Even Tia admitted, she's like, man, I did not prepare for the downside of this.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of really uncomfortable conversations with people that after that shutdown of the Mesa, which I've still been very quiet about. Like, if people want the truth, they can go look it up.
Yeah.
You know what happened. Some of the downtown owners know what happened. I obviously know what happened. I sat in court for 65 days trying to go, like, do I even get to speak today? Do I have to just sit here? Do I have to? But when we planned that reopening and that went to shit the way that it happened, that's when downtown started just falling apart.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty rapid succession where we were done, and then there started being the downturn for Tia, and then Sabrosa closed, and then Barron's changed everything up and became the hipster bar, and then the local, and that huge fucking fiasco that was going on there, and then the replacement bars, and it's like, it was just one thing after a fucking other, and then even Cam and them having to sell Thunderstruck and making it into Twisted Turtle, like, I give Kevin credit for stepping in and trying to do something, but he inherited a mess.
Yeah.
And there's no one in any position of leadership. And in a business area, like even here in Denver, the strip clubs talk to each other. The big music venues talk to each other. The promoters and producers talk to each other. You have to have communication.
Oh, yeah.
And that fell apart.
Yeah.
You gone, Sid gone, Carrie gone, me gone, Cam gone. Just right there, just those 5.
Yeah.
That was a huge group of us that made sure that we all knew what the other bars and clubs and people were doing.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah. I don't know. The day before the Sabrosa shutdown, that was horrible. Yeah, because I literally quit the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking door locks were changed on Sabrosa.
Yeah.
And for a second there, everyone thought that I knew that was going to happen. That wasn't the case.
Well, and that whole... I wish Carrie had fought that.
Yeah.
I do. I understand why she didn't. And Carrie and Tyler moving was great for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I do wish she'd fought that, because Sabrosa was the last kind of vestige of what we all knew to be like a really good, we can do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we were still doing, I was still doing some shows there, between there and the Avalon, or there in Colonius or whatever. Like, I was still doing stuff. And when that closed, it just kind of was like, I don't even want to try anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anybody I care enough to do this for.
And that was part of the reason why it dragged me out of downtown. Like, after Sabrosa, I went back and worked at Mesa for maybe 3 shows. And I was just like, nah.
It was not even close to the same.
And then I went and worked for Liz for a year. Just
Yeah.
in the kitchen, just kind of disappeared out of Grand Junction that way.
Well, and that's, people are still shocked. Like, I have people that live in Junction, are like, when are you going to be back in town? I'm like, you really don't know that I'm here? Like, really? Like, I just, and part of it, biggest thing is, I stopped posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
I lost my taste for Facebook when it turned into nothing but trolls and bullshit news.
Yeah.
So I don't post. And people, that was my biggest following. And then I culled my friends list from 5,000. It was 4,991 or something.
Yeah.
Right there at the 5,000 mark. I culled it down to 2,100. I just got rid of anybody I didn't personally know.
Yeah.
I just got rid of it. I was like, there.
I think I still have a bunch of people on my Facebook, but I probably post there maybe
Every once.
Yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Again.
I'll post a memory. That's most of what I post.
Yeah.
Or I'll change a photo.
I haven't thought about Junction, so.
Yeah. Well, and even coming over here,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time going to different shows and looking at things. And I mean, what Zach and Keith did with Trailside blows my mind.
Yeah.
That they kept that floating every couple of weeks. There was something big going on.
Yeah.
That's a huge.
It's a fucking staple. It's kind of like the starting grounds of Denver.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is, and they're kickstarting, and then the fact that they're doing some of the bigger shows, and Zach's got some things in the works. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see what happens here, because that boy can run. When you give him a little bit of leash, and he'll fucking take off. So,
Oh, yeah.
He's doing real well. He's all being a responsible grown up, being a homeowner and shit too, which I don't know. Do you ever find it weird that I'm the most childish of all of us, and I think I'm the second oldest?
Who's older?
Chad.
Huh? Is Chad older than you?
Sid's older than me too, actually. Sid's more of a grown up than me though. Sid's been a grown up since he was a fetus.
Just came out.
Yeah, he came out with the beard. What? Tell me what to do. I'll work this job. I don't know why he sounds like a transformer in my head, but that's what he sounds like. No, there's people that I miss, but I do. I have to, if I want to talk, dude, there's nobody that listens to metal over there.
In Junction?
Nobody listens to metal. And there's no bands. There's no fucking bands, dude.
Yeah.
We used to have to fight them off.
It's because, no, there's a couple bands. But Zoloft's still kicking around.
Well, Zoloft is an institution.
Yeah.
They're not really even a band anymore. They're possibly a religious icon.
There's this fucking Just As Well. I just listened to their new song and I was like, alright, I fuck with it.
Yeah. But that's, really, even the people who are in big bands and do different stuff, I jammed with Josh 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's the first time he's picked up a guitar and played with anybody in years, he said. I'm like, because he was going to be in Demise for a minute, and then he did move over here, and then he was going to be in a couple bands over there, and that nothing ever materialized. Ben and I have talked about doing stuff. Pete and I have talked about doing stuff. Ethan and I used to talk about doing stuff, but nobody ever does it.
Yeah.
And I don't have the fucking energy to be like, all right, practice is at this time on these days of the week, and you almost be here. And then with my transient fucking lifestyle the last year and a half, it wasn't. Nope.
It wasn't possible.
No. I mean, I'm doing some musical stuff now, working with Shelly and I'm doing some cover work and just real random shit that I'm releasing on my own.
Yeah.
And I've been doing DJ work and remixes and stuff, but the scene is just not there. Even in, like, Junction used to be the mecca of, I'm a rapper from Grand Junction. You don't even hear that anymore.
Yeah. I think, what? There's, no. All right, there is one band in Junction that is doing well for themselves, and that's Taylor Riley's band, Awaiting Eternity?
Okay, fair. But anything Taylor does is going to be...
The Oriental.
Yeah, anything Taylor touches is going to go... That dude is impossible to slow down.
Yeah.
He's a fucking juggernaut, so... One of the most talented musicians I've ever met.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not being paid millions of dollars by major producers still kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
So that's true. And they're doing stuff, but again, it used to be like, I mean, when we would be like, we've got a metal show, there'd be like 20 fucking bands banging on the window, and we want to open that, and then bands from Denver, bands from Salt Lake, bands from Vegas, can we come up? Can we be on it? That doesn't exist anymore.
That's because everyone's moved away.
It's not just in Junction though. Like, I'm even here, like, there's some bands that are still kicking around and doing stuff, but a lot of the big bands that were like 2 years ago were like playing shows every month and opening the big headliners and going and doing stuff. They're not doing much.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, I feel like Denver's in the alternative scene, Denver's in a growth period. Because there's a bunch of bands that are actually doing a lot of shit. Fox Lake, those guys they're about to go. Their like fall schedule is insane. Boys from Colorado Springs, Blind to Life. Yep, Blind for Life. There we go. They're doing a quick run. The hardcore scene here is getting not weirder. It's evolving, I think. It's definitely growing bigger. Fucking Mouth for War.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be on the road with Boundaries. Oh God, who was on that tour? Yep. Sorry.
I mean, there definitely are bands doing things. They're doing stuff, but it doesn't feel as driven, because the Colorado music scene has always been very close.
Yeah.
Even with the Continental Divide taken into account, like when I was in Glenwood and we would play with shows, people in Denver would be like, hey, come over here, and we'd be going back and forth between Boulder and Denver, and then going to Springs, and then popping over to Glenwood, and then playing Junction, and then, I mean, it was constant back and forth, and everybody actually worked with each other. And I really thought, with the lockdown in particular, over here, that people would take that opportunity to be like, Rocket Space is still open. Let's get some shit done. We can be in there.
Yeah.
We can do it. It's not public. It's us, you know. And as most of the musicians I know, especially ones that tour, the vaccine started popping up. People were like, leaping on it. Let me get vaxxed. Let me get vaxxed. Let me get vaxxed.
Yeah.
So we can go do more. So we can be more. But I don't see the content I thought I would at the volume I thought I would.
Yeah.
Granted, the singles that I did see, really quality.
Yeah.
I think people stepped up their production game. They stepped up their ability to really focus in on, okay, we were weak here before and we should have focused on that. Now we've strengthened that, and now we're a little more balanced. But I don't see a lot of the real quantity. It's like back when George H.W. Bush took office, I thought the punk scene was going to fucking explode. And I've talked about this several times.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to... I was like, dude, the punk music is going to be so good for the next 4 years, at least.
Yeah.
And knowing this country, 8 years. Like, holy shit. And other than Green Day, which to my mind is, like, borderline punk.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stiff Little Fingers influence on them has waned and waned and waned over the years.
Yeah.
So they're less and less punk, but they still have that punk mindset. There really wasn't much.
Yeah.
Not on a national or international level.
No.
On the local level, there was a few. On the regional level, there was a few. But even California, the punk scene didn't resurge, and I thought for sure it would. That's what I thought was going to happen with this, with everything going on. It was like, we're hitting a global pandemic.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be home, and everybody's using their computers to make music now. Everybody's sitting there. I mean, I won't lie. I pulled out guitars and pulled out bass guitars and started writing and doing stuff. And like, what can I do here? What can I do here? What can I produce here? What can I? And I really thought more people. I mean, I wrote 2 albums.
Yeah.
Of shit myself. Will anyone ever hear it? Nah. But I did it myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what I could still do. I went through all the old Machinery Cell stuff and remastered the entirety of our. And Drummer and I always joked when he was alive that we were going to re-release our first album because it was against our better judgment.
Yeah.
We were going to re-release it as slightly better judgment. And we never did that. And I was like, cool. So I've worked on that, and I've got it to a level where I'm like, yeah, actually, that's releasable on a level that I've written real sketch about releasing anything from that time period because that project evolved too. And I honestly just feel bad because nobody ever got to see Joe, and he was such a huge part of what we were.
Yeah.
I feel like the pandemic should have brought more talent and more drive and more direction out of people than it did.
I feel like a lot, at least within my group of people, a lot of us ended up doing stuff that we've been meaning to do and learning a different set of skills outside of music. Like, I finally have gotten behind a camera.
Fair.
Trying to catch up with Tyler because he's
badass. Badass. No, absolutely badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe that is it. I don't know. Like, what do you? Okay, you talk about getting behind a camera or like, and you've been on Twitch and stuff for years now.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked. That was the first time we were going to do something like this.
Consistently.
And that's the thing is that a lot of people that I knew are like, oh, I'm on Twitch, but I don't really do much with it right now. Like, people turn that into a career. There was a lot of, like, all of a sudden people's side hustles or their hobbies became their income sources.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a ton of people with that. Sash brought it up a couple weeks ago when we were talking. Even other photographers are like, yeah, I started, like, going back to graphic design and doing this and that because I wasn't making enough. If you can't travel, you can't shoot. You can't shoot, can't make a living. And even though there were all these triple P loans and all these other things for self-employed people that had employees, for those of us that are like, I'm just me, they're like, yeah, fuck you. You know, it's rough. And I mean, I was doing so much myself just trying to pay bills.
Yeah. Just
trying to keep up because there was no reprieve.
Yeah.
For those of us. And I think that's part of it. I think that maybe we as a country, because I can't say this about my friends in Australia, completely different story. My friends in Great Britain and France, and completely different. Even my Canadian friends, completely different. But I feel like a lot of people stepped in and went, okay, this one thing that I used to do for fun is now my job.
Yeah.
And maybe that deterred from the idea of, okay, I could take this time and be creative, but now I have to focus triply hard on just making money. And maybe that's it. But I don't feel like anybody ever took their job that seriously that they wouldn't go to band practice or they wouldn't write music or they, like, how many times have you ever heard or maybe even thought, if I don't pick up a guitar soon, or I don't fucking scream into a microphone soon, or I don't play something on the keyboard, or even just sit down and play video games for a couple hours, I swear to God, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. That's, I mean.
And I feel like as a country, people threw that away.
Yeah.
Went, all these things that keep me going that are my escape don't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm just having a really hard time grasping that. I really am.
I feel like it showed a lot of people, like, well, I don't know, they just found different ways to, for lack of a better word, get serotonin.
I mean, that's true. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the porn industry exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, people always talk about OnlyFans, but not just OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I mean, the porn industry exploded. There's a lot there because there's tons of people bored and sitting at home going, I'm lonely and I got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the first 3 of them. And I mean, a lot of my friends that do adult work, like even they're like really supportive of OnlyFans. They're like, yeah, no, that's awesome. Like if you can sit at home and make money and do this and be the girl next door, more power. Like the empowerment of that. The timing. I feel like too many people step back because the Black Lives Matter and the protests and everything that were right at the onset of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Those waned so much that I feel like people have kind of lost how really important the start of a new decade with that was.
Yeah, that it set a precedent and like definitely started to change things. I think because I was down there.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, I was talking to friends all over. I mean, there wasn't very much injunction, but what there was, people were really, really loud about.
Yeah.
Junction's very racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very racist.
Well,
so.
I think I was like scrolling through Grand Junction TikTok last night, and I was like, Jesus, why are there so many Trump flags in this one rally? I guess it was like the 6th.
Oh yeah.
And like that whole like Old Hastings parking lot was just like filled, and I was like, oh Jesus, I'm glad I left.
Yeah. Where were you on the 6th?
Where was I? I was
Yeah.
at work.
Did you hear about it while you were at work?
Mm-hmm.
What was going on?
Yep. I was on Twitter all day. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. I was sitting there. I was on the phone with a couple people, and I had people. They wanted me to react and talk, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till we know a little more because I don't know what the fuck. I really thought we were looking at another fuck up as big as like the Bay of Pigs and things like that. In my mind, I was like, our government is gonna fuck this up so bad. And I'm glad that it didn't get worse than it did, but I'm still just kind of in shock over the fact, like, how are people not just really mad about this?
Or just people, I don't know. There was a lot of angry people that I talked to, and I was like, one of those angry people. What I don't get is that people still think that he's coming back to be president, or that he's the, 13th president ever. And it's like, what is this Q shit? Why y'all used to tell us, don't believe everything you read on the internet, and now we're the ones being like, hey, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
But yeah, believe nothing. Literally nothing. Because even in some of the news, actual news, I'm like, that was wrong or skewed. Or I can't stand media.
Yeah.
So we sit around and talk about aliens or magic or dragons or what have you.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time where somebody said it, just a completely outlandish conspiracy theory, where everybody kind of looked at each other and went, okay, that might actually be real? Ever once did that happen?
Ever?
Ever.
No, not really.
I am 42 years old, and I cannot remember once where I heard a conspiracy theory where I was like, absolutely, we're all on the same page, that's true. Every once in a while, like...
I mean, 9/11 was an inside job.
And I believe that as well. I do believe that as well. And that's a still very unpopular opinion. I think that whole thing was predetermined, and I think it was an excuse to do what we're now dealing with again, literally in the last week. Like, yeah, my political views. People think they understand my political views until they really get going, and they're like, "You're not normal." No, the fuck, I'm not. That I don't know. I look at how many people that I know and respect, genuinely respect, who have stepped up recently and come out with, I had to stop following a couple people because they truly believed that Trump was our Lord and Savior, that he was the second coming of Christ. And I'm like, how are you thinking this? How is this possible that you can come to that conclusion? Well, it says this and this and this and this and this and this in the Bible. No, it fucking doesn't. Read the Bible, you stupid fuck.
How many times has the Bible been rewritten?
I mean, the Bible in English? Not the Bible. Not even close.
No.
It's a decent history and a timeline of what happened in an area it's so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
The whole region, the entirety of the Bible happened in such just little tiny region. It's like not even half of this state.
It's ridiculous. The human race is. I got a lot of things to say.
Yeah. Like, we are so jaded. The government admits UFOs are real.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of goes,
Yep.
meh.
Yeah.
So,
What do you want from us?
yeah, we know. We've been telling you. We want the truth. Literally that day, I bet David Duchovny ran outside and they were like, look! And then there was nobody there. He goes, who cares? Fuck.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a fuck. You know, and of course now they're like, well, they're obviously UFOs. We still don't know what they are. Unidentified.
Yeah.
That's the point. And now it's like, oh, it's under our oceans. Oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Like, and I still watch a lot of that stuff. I still keep up with a lot of the ghost hunting people that I've been friends with.
You see, the thing with UFOs is that it's literally, what if it's just billionaires from other planets?
It's the Jeff Bezos, the fucking Centaurus, being like, dude, there's this planet of a bunch of stupid fucks. Let's go watch. It's better than TV. We are their fucking reality. That makes more sense to me than almost anything. I still think we're we're sea monkeys.
Yeah.
We're a fucking experiment. Somebody just went, ant farm. Look at the planet I made, Mom.
I'm a big fan of what is it? The simulation theory.
I used to be until I realized that if that's true, because I have this theory. Okay, so remember the superpower thing? Useless superpowers we used to come up with? And yours was like, yeah, but maybe I'm in charge of gravity. You can't prove me wrong. Like, you fucked my son up. To this day, he's still like, fucking Derek. Every time he drops something, he says fucking Derek. And then he's like, I just want to like shoot him to see what would happen, but I'm so scared. What happens when he dies? Do we all fly away? We were on the planet before he lived, but maybe he just transferred to him. You don't know. We're flying, but only 1 inch off the ground. There's all the different ones. I always thought the best superpower is I'm invisible when you're not looking. As long as nobody's looking at me, I'm invisible.
Yeah.
And no one knows but me. Then the simulation thing kicked in. I was like, maybe my code just stops. It just don't exist unless somebody's in the room and I don't know it because I'm just like an NPC. That's why the whole new the fucking new Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to go see it because everybody else is like, oh, it's gonna be funny and kind of romantic. It's gonna be this. I'm like, it's a fucking horror story to me. Because that might be me. I'm not okay with that. So
what is that? I'm
free guy.
Free guy.
He's an NPC.
Okay.
And then he becomes conscious.
Oh.
And he's like, wait, what? I can't die? And he like tries to change. He becomes an NPC who tries to do like good things. And I'm guessing it's Ryan Reynolds, so you know it's gonna be funny as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he even made the fucking Pokemon movie livable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just everything but Green Lantern. Really, everything but Green Lantern.
Green Lantern and Deadpool in the X-Men universe.
Well, yeah, but that you can't blame him for that because he actually played the part very well.
Yes, he did play the part very well.
The smart-ass talking and the way he did shit and yeah. I mean, even the Blade stuff he did in Blade, I liked.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's fucking funny. I like this shit. You know, so that kind of stuff, you know it's got to be a good movie. But to me, it kind of triggers me like, well, what if? What if that is actually it and we're all just idiots? Because you believe that you die in a car accident, you die. Because you believe that you can't fly, you can't. What does it take to become conscious? And there are people around the planet who are literally like pouring poisons into themselves trying to wake up in the Matrix.
Yeah. What if that's part of the simulation?
You gotta wonder.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've lost it.
No, those are those moments where I mean, you know me, I don't sleep much anyway.
Yeah.
I will literally sit there, exhausted, and I will see like a little blip of light, and I'm like, that was a pixel. I know that was a fucking pixel. Next 6 hours of my life, ruined. Just ruined. Because I will just start thinking, and then of course, what do? I get on the fucking internet. I go on YouTube, and I start looking up videos, and I fucking just inundate me with a bunch more, and then for the rest of the day, I'm looking around going, I'm gonna see another one, I'm gonna see another one. Same thing, every time I see a spirit for like the next week, I'm just like, freaking out. looking around every fucking corner, like, because I'm not scared of them, but it's still like I want to see them.
See, I get something similar to that, except I get a lot of deja vu, and I'm always waiting for the next, for whatever. The way I always look at it is like I'll have like a sensation of deja vu, and then I'm always trying to figure out, okay, so this is where the path splits.
Okay. See, and I don't. How long is it between bouts of deja vu? Like, is it something that happened a few days ago, or something that happened like today, or is it something that happened years ago? You feel like I've done this before, but it was.
When was the last time I had deja vu?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have like deja vu maybe once a week.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
man.
It's weird. Sometimes I'll have like months where it like stops, but then like it'll kick back in. Like right now, I'm in a phase where like deja vu will happen at least once a week.
That's insane, dude. See, because like when I have it, it's very holy shit moment for me. It's very like overwhelming. I had one last week. It's probably the first time in a year that I've experienced it, but it's something I thought of like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it was in a place that I could not have known, in a situation I could not have guessed, with people that I didn't even know yet. And that's one of those things, like, there's that dream theory that when you dream about people and you see faces, because we've seen them before,
Yeah.
you don't ever dream about. I think we dream about people that we're going to meet too, because of the circle of time.
Yeah.
And there's times where it, like, literally, like, even now, there's a couple of people that I hang out with pretty regularly that I didn't know a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But the second I saw him, I recognized him. And I'm like, why do I know this person? And then, like, the event happens, and I'm like, son of a fuck. How did I do that?
Yeah.
It's...
I don't know. The thing with, like, I don't know, maybe it's not deja vu. It's like that similar feeling of having it. But mine's always like... how do I put it? You know when someone's staring at you?
Uh-huh.
It's almost that type of feeling. So, but... it almost feels like a warning, I guess.
Like Spidey sense.
Yeah.
Like, Spidey sense. That's where it's just, oh, pay attention. This has happened. I've done this.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. Yeah. How much, okay. I don't know, we've talked about it before, like how much, if you believe in predetermination, predestination, and then how much you manifest. We've talked about that a million times over sake and shit. Just like, hey, let's get drunk and talk about really heavy shit that we're never going to come to a conclusion on. I've run into, especially lately, and I've started to surround myself with more people who I view as touched or enlightened or able to manifest magic in some form or other, or manifest energy in it.
Yeah.
And I'm discovering more and more of those people are like, man, I feel like we were like friends 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Or like there's one friend that comes to mind, and I've always had this feeling with Audrey. She's the one where I'm always just like, it's so weird that we know shit about each other that we've never talked about.
Yeah.
But we just know. There are those people, though, that I've talked to. I had a conversation the other night that just blew my fucking mind, because this girl actually we've spoken on the phone twice for like just a minute, and we were having a fairly serious, in-depth conversation, and she kept finishing my sentences. Like, dead on what I was going to say, and I was like, how are you? We've met each other in person 4 times.
Yeah. We've
talked on the phone twice. Like, everything we have in our lives is Snapchat.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? And when I pointed it out to her, she was just like, I don't know, I feel like we've talked about this stuff before. And it's like, we definitely haven't.
Yeah.
Well, I know we haven't, but I feel like we have. And it's those things that more and more I feel like there are people finding each other. Indigo children are linking up with each other. Mediums and touched people and people who have sight are starting to recognize each other. It's like how they always say, like, serial killers recognize other serial killers, rapists recognize other rapists.
Yeah.
It's like the good part of that, but people don't realize how fucking Jedi that could turn into. And then, like, okay, what's the flip side?
Yeah.
And I can't tell if that's a new thing or I'm just noticing it more.
I don't know. Because I definitely feel you. Because I've definitely met a lot of more magical, enlightened people since moving here.
Well, just in base population. I mean,
Yeah.
you socially opened up in huge ways being over here.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of that. But I mean, even online, people I have, because like I'm not social.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I don't meet a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
I meet everyone online.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's been a weird thing, especially with this like last year. Like I've gone through like this whole fucking reset in my life again.
Third time, fourth time. I know for sure third, but kind of fourth.
I don't know.
You
I've
do
lost
mini
track.
resets when you date,
Yeah,
so that kind of counts.
kinda.
It's more adaptation than
Yeah.
change, and in my mind, that's different. Adapting to another person that's part of
Oh,
your
yeah,
lifestyle
yes.
versus changing your lifestyle is
Yes.
very different.
Yeah.
I think that's actually one of the weird thing in relationships is that I'm more likely to change for a friendship than I am a relationship.
Yes. I'm very much the same way, and that's why I've been like, we're not doing this. We're not doing the dating thing.
I suck at relationships. I'm really good at love. You've seen
Yeah.
it. I'm good at love.
Yeah.
I'm but everything around it,
No.
not at all. I'm fucking horrible. I ruin people.
Yeah.
Straight up just destroy them. I'm like, oh, I am so sorry I broke you. I mean, when given the option, I usually wake up in the morning and choose violence.
Yeah.
I do. I was like, oh, and I say this all the time. Nobody gets up and says they're gonna just choose to mess their day up. But there are times where I wake up, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck somebody's day up. Maybe not mine, but I'm gonna fuck somebody's day up today. That's pretty normal for me. But to look at it long term, like I don't actually want to destroy people or things,
Yeah.
unless it's in an attempt to rebuild and make it stronger.
Yeah.
And that's the hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Is how do you know which is which, because you never know the outcome. So there are people like I will change for a friend if I've got a true friend and they're like they challenge me in life. And I did change for my last relationship.
Yeah.
I did. I changed a lot and really opened myself up and got squashed. So, you know, it's been 2.5 years and I'm still like, ow, 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 every day. Fuck, I had an incident last night that I was like, yeah, I'm obviously not healthy. Not that I've ever been mentally good, but
If anyone is, there's no one there.
that's fair. I mean, that's fair. If people are talking about their traumas and their damage and the different things that they experience, I mean, there's a lot to be said about that because, I don't know, I keep looking at how often or how many times it's that whole thing, if you're crazy, do you know you're crazy? Do you sit around masturbating in your own feces and going, I can't believe how fucking crazy I am? Like, that's the best line in Seven.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, fuck, I never looked at it that way. Like, if you are still questioning, like, am I nuts? You're not.
Yeah.
You may be dangerously fucking close, but you're not.
Yeah.
I keep really looking at more and more. I will go weeks now where I feel normal, and then I realize, none of that was normal. Nothing I just did was like, I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
So putting that on other people is like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I feel that.
But I will change if I have friends that push me and challenge me and do that stuff. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Other people that are around me though, I will adapt. And I notice myself doing it, like, oh, well, you don't like this, or you don't like this coffee,
Yeah.
or you don't like this kind of soda, and I will change up. Cool. It's easy enough for me not to.
See, I've taken a very hard stance on being who I am, accepting other people, and if they can't accept me, all right, later.
And that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's more a matter of if and when you feel like you can. There are things that I have looked at in my life, especially recently, politically, more than anything else. The idea that I know where I stand and what I like.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to look at somebody else and go, I'm right, you're wrong. But there are times where I'm just unchangeable
Yeah.
in certain aspects. And politically tends to be the biggest one of them, where I'm just like, no, I have, like, some things are right, some things are wrong, and there are black and white elements to this very gray thing.
Yeah.
That's, as long as you accept that people could change your mind with the right argument, or if they could, I think that's okay to be just really just steadfast in who you are and how you feel.
I mean, as long as it's based on facts.
Yeah. Well, even opinions. I mean, we've talked about it. If you have an opinion and you don't own it like it's a fucking fact, you don't deserve that opinion.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, you fucked up. You shouldn't have that opinion. You haven't earned the right to say it.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that. Yeah, maybe that's fucked up of me, but I really do think that if you state an opinion and you don't own it like it was gospel, then did you look at your phone like it was a clock?
I thought it was my fucking...
No, it's not. It's to the outside. Yeah. Yeah, you looked so confused. No, but if you don't own an opinion like it's just absolute part of what your truth is, then I don't see how anyone can ever change their mind either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, were you in debate or anything in high school?
I didn't go to high school.
Fair.
I think I dropped out sophomore year and then got my GED.
Yeah. I mean, I knew you got your GED. I just didn't know how much you went to. So, debate is one of those things. It's like when they do like mock trial and shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to learn these things to move forward. I recently, and my dad was the one who said, he's like, have you checked out how debate works now? Like, did it change? He's like, it really did. You need, it's not debate. It's basically talk as fast as you can and create an argument that nobody's really listening to.
So Ben Shapiro everything.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it is now. It's literally like, I'm going to say everything as fast as I can and say it like it's an absolute fact, and there's nothing you can do to argue with it because this is how it is. I may not have any factual basis behind it. I didn't do any fucking research, but this is exactly what I think. And it's whoever presents the best argument the quickest wins.
No.
That's not debate. That's
talk fast.
That's being sold.
Yeah.
That's salesmanship.
Yeah.
That's not an argument. That's not a back and forth. There's no... And so I think that is a direct translation to why slam poetry is becoming less and less common, and hip-hop in many ways, like backpack rap in particular, is waning. People aren't challenging these things. Even a lot of really good metal, unless it's got the theme of blackened, or it really just loses any kind of meaning. And I'm really struggling with that. I'm struggling with this idea that we as a society have decided to take a very communication back and forth and debate is extremely healthy.
Yeah.
Look at our governmental system that no matter, I don't care what your stance is, nobody's happy with the government right now.
No.
Far right, far left, doesn't matter. Everybody's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Everybody's just, the whole world's looking at us like,
well, it's because the whole world, like, what was I saying? I was saying this a couple fucking months ago. I was like, the left is center, the right is real right, and the far left is like where left around the world is.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent visual. I like that. I'm fucking stealing that. Because that's a really good way to look at it. See, people, when I talk politics, they don't understand that socialism and communism are on opposite ends of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
They think they're the same shit.
No.
And they don't realize they're extremely opposite, almost coming around and meeting each other if you were to bend it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at a full spectrum, you got black and white here, and you've got the deepest color range here. And that's how it is.
Yeah.
I keep trying to wrap my head around this idea that even though everybody's pissed off and nobody's happy with what the government is, no one is talking about it. No one in government is talking about it.
Anyone in the world right now is happy with their government.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
We got a COVID case. Everybody shut down. And they just do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got this. I mean, they've had the lowest rates, everything. I mean, yeah, I think that's one. I mean, probably like little city states like Luxembourg and stuff. They're probably like, we're good. Fuck you.
Literally, the American dream right now is to live in New Zealand.
I would live in a hobbit house like a motherfucker. They're building a hobbit village here in Colorado. I know where it is, and I'm like kind of thinking about maybe getting into that. I don't know. I look at Republicans don't talk to Democrats. Democrats don't talk to Republicans. They barely talk to each other.
They don't talk to their people.
Yeah, the Republican Party is basically split into 3 factions now.
Yeah.
So it's complete, and you've got even 2 of the 3 are just so afraid of Donald Trump that they don't say or do anything that's effective. One group is like, we're bringing him back. The other group is like, well, he's not coming back, but we're terrified of him. And then you got the other group is like, he's not coming back. We need to do what's right. And they're being thrust from office and removed from committees.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fucking work. And then you got the Democratic Party that is pussyfooting around on one side, and then the other side is just so gung-ho about everything that they're ignoring. They're looking forward without looking at now.
Yeah.
Which, I was a huge Obama supporter.
Yeah.
Huge Obama supporter. But I did say, I think he's very naive. I don't think he can do all the things he thinks he can do. And he didn't. He couldn't do most of the things because he was fighting a Republican-controlled Congress, and I mean, all the things are going. It's like, you can't go into it going, I'm going to,
when you can't do anything.
when you can't do it, when you really have no power to do that. I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can do this. And it really is, like, I still get mad because so many people that I talk to that are older than me are still like, well, Ronald Reagan was a shitty fucking president. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. That man was horrible as a leader, as a person, as everything. Like, no. I also don't think Kennedy was a good fucking president. I think he did the biggest blunders we've ever dealt with as a country. I think Nixon was a great president. He was just a crooked son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Great president. Carter, fantastic president. No power. Zero power.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything. I would love to have seen what would have happened if Al Gore had been elected.
I think at that point, if Al Gore was president, we probably wouldn't be dealing with a lot of climate shit.
Yeah.
As we are now.
Yeah. I think there'd be a lot more people playing D&D.
Probably.
Shit like that. There'd be a lot more nerds being like, yep. And it wouldn't be like the Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk nerd stuff.
Yeah.
It would be the everyman going, yeah, I'm kind of bored. Let's go make a nuclear reactor. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
know. As there's that joke of us millennials being doomers. It's gonna get too hot anyway. I've stopped caring about the future. Like, I just do what's, I guess, could be perfectly fine for me to live the rest of my life, but I don't expect to. I live in Denver, 2 weeks ago, I had the worst air quality in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna get better.
No.
Nothing's gonna get better.
No. Well, I can't say that because the way technology works, there are advents. That kid who made that bike that could go on water and clean up ocean, that...
Unless my consciousness can be uploaded into a server, maybe these Tesla bots, maybe if I can upload my brain into a Tesla bot, that's the only way the human race is surviving.
I believe that. I just don't know if it's in our lifetimes or if it's going to be 3-4 generations down the road, or it's really hard to say. And I do think that. I think that here's the difference. My parents lived in a constant state of fear because of the Cold War and nuclear fallout and all that. Whereas my kids, and really till about the 30-31, that range there, live in this state of, we're going to try and salvage what we can and make it last as long as possible, but at some point it's just going to... It's like when you buy a car that's used, and you know that there's things wrong with it, and you just keep duct taping the same parts together. That's what I feel like a lot of your generation and my kids' generation are doing. It's just basically like, you gave us a fucked up car. Yeah. But it runs. It gets me there. This stupid flying rock hurtling through space, it's getting me somewhere, so we're going to keep trying to plug holes in a little bit of paint, That's what I feel like. And that, maybe that's defeatist of me. Maybe I feel bad about it. Yeah. But I have been into environmental work since I was a very small kid. Yeah. Since before even I understood recycling and stuff like that. My And it was an economic thing.
Yeah.
My grandparents would save aluminum foil and bags and things like that all the time and reuse stuff. And I've always been, I mean, you've lived with me. I have weird shit in weird packaging and save stuff. And, oh, that butter container can be reused for this.
And that's Great Depression era thinking.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I learned it on accident, but I've held to it for a very long time. Like, I can do as much conservation. I love plants. I'm constantly doing something to try and reclaim nature into an area. My last trip to Detroit, I went into the areas that nature reclaimed, and it was seriously like mentally masturbatory how good that felt. I'm like, I know this is sad because people lost their homes and this is how destitute they are, but the fact that nature in 4 or 5 years literally went, yes, love it, fucking love it. That's amazing to me. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like it's even my generation's fault.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the generation ahead of me's fault. Like, I don't want to throw everything on the baby boomers, fuck you, but because this problem started back in the 1850s in my mind.
Yeah.
The Industrial Revolution. I mean, this country was supposed to be an agro. That's what Jefferson always said. Like, oh, we'll just grow crops all across the whole country, and everyone went, I can put a lot of cars there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's late stage capitalism. That's where we're at.
Yeah. And capitalism was never designed as a governmental system, and yet here we are living in a governmental system based on the dollar and the gold bar and Bitcoin and and the whole world is going that way, which
yeah.
It's
that's the thing is I don't know shit about crypto. I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I do. But that's gonna fuck something up down the line.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna fuck something up way bad down the line.
Dude, it already is, and people don't know. I don't talk economics, especially when it comes to financial trading and day trading and stuff like that, because I mean, I obviously do it.
Yeah.
But and I still gamble.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Dude, I made a lot on the Olympics. I did. I made money on the Olympics, and that's how I bought my groceries this month and shit. You know, I play the odds. I understand Forex. I understand not everything crypto. There's a lot of crypto I'm still just like, that makes no sense to me, and I don't get that. What the fuck is that? But it makes sense on a purely mathematically. It makes sense. Watch this trend. Watch this, and it's, to me, I just see everything in waves.
Yeah.
And that's how I watch the arts, and that's how I watch music, and that's how everything is. You don't ever want everything to just keep growing.
Yeah.
Because that's the same as a flat line, and flat line is death.
Yeah.
It's not good. You want things to vary and do different things. But in watching what crypto is doing, and don't get me wrong, I have some very close friends who have done exceptionally well in crypto. Turn their lives around.
Yeah.
And people around them's lives.
Yeah.
Watching, there's a couple bands I know that were like, dude, we're going to break up. We can't do this, can't do that. And one guy's like, well, I just made $190,000 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just let me cash out some Bitcoin. And people are like,
huh?
What? You know, and being able to do that. I mean, one of our friends is buying a Tesla next week.
Yeah.
With what he made in 4 days.
Yeah.
Because he said, I got lucky. I bought at the right time. It went up. I sold at the peak, and it literally dropped the next morning.
I mean, that's kind of how I got through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dogecoin.
No, exactly, and that's just it.
Paid my rent for 3 months.
Yeah, if you get right and you sell it right, it's the same as any stock. It's the same as any mutual fund. It's the same premise. The problem is, and what people don't realize, is that what happens in the stock market is not a true reflection of what the economy is doing.
Yeah.
Crypto doesn't reflect any economy. It is completely ethereal and disconnected. There is no economic tie down.
Yeah.
So there's no anchor.
Yeah.
Which means that if some point somebody just goes, we don't believe in this, it can ruin the whole thing. Or what's going on now, people are like, no, you're expected to believe in this. And there's people going, it's not real money. It's not real. There's no money there, but they just paid me. How did they do that?
Well, that's another thing too. Is because I think it's like some neighborhood somewhere in England. They had their own like physical money for that neighborhood, and that's how that economy worked in that neighborhood.
There's areas of Morocco that still work on the barter system. There is no money. Money is not good there. It's got to be barter. You have to trade.
I like that.
It works. A lot of communal systems.
Yeah.
The Amish still do a lot of trade, like, hey, I need my horse shod and you need grain, that works. And if you watch a lot of, I did the barter system all the way through to high school. I just didn't know it. I have candy, I have pot, you need other things, I need things, cool.
I have this, you have that,
Yeah. I need comic books. I have weed, you want it, I want those comic books. It sounds fucked up, but it was the barter system. I didn't think about it that way, but that's what it was. Having something as disconnected as most crypto, really all crypto, at the start, at the onset, could cause global financial strife. In a day. In one day. It could happen. Have I ever told you about my Wizard of Oz breakdown?
No.
Okay. Roald Dahl, when he wrote this, what was going, I'm big at, we did this lyrically. We're talking about Kurt Cobain and what he was going through, and he was writing certain lyrics and things like that. We were talking about the grunge era. So I do this with authors too, where I look at what they were going through. Mark Twain in particular, Roald Dahl, Harper Lee. Like, I want to know what they were going through. So I study them, not what they wrote, but them. And what was going on in the world when The Wizard of Oz was written was this American determination of, we have steel barons, we have railroad barons, we have newspaper barons, and are we going to continue following the gold standard? So the Wicked Witch of the North and the Wicked Witch of the South are these steel barons who are kind of arguing over, no, it's timber and steel here, and no, it's coal and steel here. And then you got the railroad barons at the east and west that everybody's like, oh, we're getting behind them. And they have the newspaper companies behind them and all this stuff. And it's like, how do you get everybody together? What do you look? Okay, who are the meek? Your general population. And it's Dorothy, the meek and humble. That's the American people at that time. That's the American people. And what does she end up finding out? That she can befriend people that don't really have a brain, but are this great mouthpiece and great leaders. And that's your agricultural people. And then you've got the industrial people in the Tin Man, and they're like, we have no heart, but we can get shit done. And then you have these people you're supposed to look at and go, that's the people in charge, that's my leader, but they're fucking cowards in The Cowardly Lion. And what are they doing? They're following the yellow brick road to the green city. He was literally telling everybody, if we ignore all the witches and all the people in higher ups, if we ignore the 1%, because back then that was the 1%ers. We've ignored that and we stay on this. This is based in something tangible that we can do ourselves. Whether you're industrial, agricultural, political, or just the basic everyman, we can control gold. We can control silver. We can control crops and cars and what's built and where it goes. If we maintain control of that and don't let anybody else tell us that's this supposed power, it will lead us to a significant monetary gain. The safety of the Emerald City.
I like that. That makes sense.
The thing that gets to me is the first time I and I can't claim entire responsibility. David Phelps, who was this amazing teacher I had. Not David Phelps, Jim Phelps, sorry. It's David Eberhard and Jim Phelps. They're two of my favorite teachers. I was actually in a band with these guys. They were that cool. Phelps was one of the few teachers who learned he could piss me off and keep me in class. He'd keep me engaged. And he talked about this a lot. He really did. It was like, this is how you do this is how you do that. And I loved it. It really engaged me. And he would do that with a lot of stuff. So when that started, he was the one who was like, well, if you look at the railroad barons in the east and the west, and when they're coming through and all this, and he was the one who pointed that out. And then I just kind of came up with the economic stuff from there. But what got me is that the first time I said that to somebody, I was trying to explain why people that are celebrities or people with lots of money like Ross Perot should never be in positions of political power. Why is Donald Trump a dangerous politician? Not because he's an egotistical misogynist. That just makes him a bad person. What makes him a dangerous politician is the concept that he believes that because he has money, he knows more than everybody else. He has power and control that other people don't have. Ross Perot was the same. Ross Perot terrified me when he was running. And I don't know if you even remember that because you were pretty young, but it terrified me that he wanted to be president. He's like, well, I have my own army. That's not cool with me.
Yeah, no, that's not, no.
Somebody in Kansas doesn't like me. No. If he'd had control of like drones and oh no. I mean that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and there were days where I was literally like, Trump's so pissed off on Twitter today, he's gonna fucking drone strike somebody in the US. He's gonna fucking hit this, he's gonna go hit fucking MSNBC or CNN with the drone strike.
Yeah.
Fake news, blow them up. Yeah, I literally thought that. Granted, do I think he would ever do that? No, because the downfall and the but in my mind, it occurred that that could happen.
But see, that's the thing. It's like the people that believe in him now and still believe in him. Bizarre. It's like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna become more? Are there gonna be more terrorists? Are there gonna be domestic terrorists?
I mean, Tim McVeigh. You look a lot of the what are they called? The people who not federalists. People who don't believe in the American government, they don't recognize it. They I can't remember what they're called, but they either end up in communes or militia. And it's literally like, I mean, you talk about people in inner city, it's like you're going to be a cop or you're going to be in jail. Like that's kind of that same mentality is if you're born into this, you're either going to be in the militia or you're going to be in a commune because you can't work in a regular society. Yeah. I feel that there is more and more a nationwide communal feel. I mean, what got me about the last election, and yes, I understand this is a huge generalization, but the number of people that voted for Donald Trump, I literally looked at the number one. There's really that many racist people in this country?
Mm-hmm.
I really thought it was better than that. Like, can't even get it into a third? Like,
and it's like, I don't know.
Who else in the Republican Party is even stepping up to be a leader, though? Really, that's the other side of it. They're also fucking scared of what could happen or what he could do because he holds so much sway.
Yeah.
There's nobody stepping up and taking that position of leadership. I mean, last thing I fucking want is Ted Cruz in charge of anything.
Ted Cruz shouldn't be in charge of anything.
Ted Cruz shouldn't be in charge of Ted Cruz. I mean, shit, the guy just, he some people put their foot in their mouths. It's like he just fucking pours water and keeps trying to swallow. And yet he's still a leader? How? How does that work? Dick Cheney was in my mind, Dick Cheney was the scariest politician in the last 20 years. And the fact that he was the vice president and had the possibility of being in charge if anything happened while there, that really concerned me.
Yeah.
That really bothered me.
Oh, I mean, do we really think George Bush had any kind of power?
I don't. There's days where
he was just a talking head.
You know,
for Dick Cheney.
Yeah. What was that movie? It was a farce where Dennis Quaid played the president. And he basically played it as if he was HW. I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Is that Vice? It's not Vice.
No, they're on a. It centers around a terrorist group coming in and they're on a singing show. Hugh Grant's in it. Dennis Quaid played the president. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember that. And I remember at the end of that, Dennis Quaid, like his earpiece goes out, and he just takes it out, and for the first time, he's honest, and he just says, "I'm really sorry about some of this shit."
Vantage point.
That sounds right. Yeah, and it's just one of those where he's just like, "I'm really sorry about this. We don't really know what's going on, and we can't really fix it. It's been going on for a lot longer than we were there, and who knows when it's going to be over. It is what it is." You know, and it was one of those moments where I identified, like, I wonder if that's how Bush feels. I wonder if that's how Bush feels. If he just goes, "What the fuck are we doing? What?
What's going on?
We opened up the door. Now, do we put it back? What do we do?" And I think that's what, like, I think it's unfortunate that Joe Biden is going to deal with this stain of what has gone on in the last couple of weeks in Afghanistan. Yeah. Particularly, I mean, they stopped another attack in Kabul just this morning.
Yeah.
Also, side note, when people say Kabul, I want to reach through the television and choke people. It's Kabul. If you're going to speak about other regions of the planet, learn what it is. Yeah. Anyway, I think that this is going to stain his presidency no matter what he does right. This is going to be something that's going to look really... Because there's a congressman from here in Colorado who's been saying we should have been out of here. We should have been moving people in March, April, get them out, start this.
Yeah.
And now it's being rushed. And the fact that they're moving, I mean, they moved tens of thousands of people yesterday. Just massive numbers of people that got moved, refugees and American citizens. And it's like, it's overwhelming how well they're doing it, but there's so much. Every minute could be disaster. Just pure fucking unadulterated chaos. And I think that's one of the things that I keep looking at is trying to figure out, like, how is Joe Biden ever going to be looked at as, I did a good job, I did these great things, I set these things. Because in my mind, what Biden's trying to do is reset to, like, 2 years into the second term of Obama.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring it back there, so it's like, okay, it's that moment of where you've walked down this path so far and went, okay, we're fucking lost now. We don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
Let's go back to where we recognize shit and take a different path.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like Biden's trying to do. And don't get me wrong, I am not the biggest fan of Joe Biden. Kamala Harris, I'm a big fan. I think Kamala Harris is an amazing leader, has the potential to be really great. There's times where I'm not sure she knows that, so I think that skews things. But I don't like that Biden was handed a plate of 20-year bullshit and now is trying to remedy it, and that's going to be the thing that people remember.
Yeah.
You know, on that same token, I look at somebody like Bush Sr., who had to, when he was trying to run for president, a lot of what affected him and Clinton winning was, you guys really fucked up Desert Shield, Desert Storm. You didn't take care of shit the way it was supposed to be. We're still dealing with economic problems. You said it would be fixed. We went to war for it. We won those wars in a matter of days.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong? You know, what the bottom line is now, when we look at what's going on, we lost a war. We were in, this is, I can't compare it to Vietnam because I don't feel like they're the same, but B, I don't think anything will ever compare to Vietnam.
No.
Ever.
No.
But there are comparables. My camera just got too hot. That's weird. There are comparables. There are moments that I see where I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I totally get why you think this or why you think that or what's going on there. I think in those comparable moments, people have lost what really is important. We were trying to shape countries that had no desire to be shaped.
Yeah.
If those governments and those people want that, it's different. That's the biggest translation between the two that I'm still struggling with today. Like, we went in and said, our system of government, which, by the way, doesn't really work for us, is what's best for you.
No.
Who've never lived this way in millennia. You've never lived this way. And are there some really great things that have happened? Yes. Women's rights, going to school. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That after thousands of years, that changed.
Yeah.
I truly respect that and think that's amazing. I think that there are some very strong foundations in place for greatness in that region that could strengthen everything. But when you have, the Taliban took back all the major cities in 6 days?
Yeah. Yeah, it was real quick.
The only thing I can think of is that's even closely related, and we're talking like these were million-person armies, is when France was invaded, France went, here you go, walk through, we're not going to die for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, that the people who lived there went, oh, we want to fight back, but Jesus, there's so many of you.
Yeah.
How did we not know there were so many Taliban still? It's like nobody knew that. And of course the CIA said, we've been telling you this. Why is nobody listening? Do you not read our shit?
Yeah.
They're saying now coming out. When the CIA is saying, we've been saying this for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
Why did nobody read anything? It's going to be Joe Biden that's to blame for that.
Yeah.
Not Trump. Not Obama. It's going to be Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because that's who's in office. That's the figurehead we're pointing at now.
Yeah.
And that's... The president is the commander-in-chief. I get that. Is it his fault?
No.
Blame everybody. Blame everybody. The thing about Joe Biden that got me is he picks a very smart cabinet. You knew he was going to, because he did it with the Obama administration. Because Obama went, I have all these things to do, help me build a team that we can actually do it with. They were coaching.
Yeah.
Biden's a good coach. Not the best player.
Yeah.
He's a good coach. And he picked the smartest, best people to be in those positions.
Yeah.
You talk about diversity in a fucking cabinet and holy shit. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That could do something. And even all them said, we need to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. We should have been out of there forever ago. Well, we spent what, $9 billion training?
More than that. But,
Sorry, was it 900 billion?
Yeah.
Some shit like that?
Yeah, we spend atrocious amounts of money. And whenever there's a Republican in office, the military budget swells and the educational budget falters. That's been that way since really FDR.
Yeah.
It's been that way. But the last 4 years, there were some real it's like nobody looked.
Yeah.
Nobody was paying attention after Obama, like where the money was going and who was doing what. And when you have military leaders going, we're not going to listen to Donald Trump. He wants us to kill everybody. I mean, they're literally saying that. He just wants us to kill everyone. He's not publicly saying that, but that's what it fucking came out as.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that terrifies me.
Honestly, I'd rather Biden take the blame for this than have fucking Trump deal with it.
And that's my point. Biden's taking the blame when really it should. I'm just grateful it's not other leadership.
Yeah.
When 9/11 happened, how old were you? Yeah. Oh God.
9? Yeah, I was 9.
Yeah, because I think I was 20. I think I was 23.
No, I was 9. Just kidding.
So when 9/11 happened, one of my biggest fears with H.W. Bush being in office was that he was just going to nuke everybody. Like, that was the answer.
Yeah.
And I was actually very against the whole concept of going to Iraq.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very bad idea. I really did. I was like, what are we doing? Why are we going there? Why are you going back to a war that your dad won 10 years ago? I didn't see Saddam Hussein as a threat to the world. He wasn't even really a threat to Kuwait at that point anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't get it. I am one of those people that I don't support the war, but I'll always support the troops though. A lot of my friends went and fought. A lot of my friends enlisted and went and so I was, because early 20s, it was like, I'm not too old. I'm in it. And they did. And even they are looking at things now. Even my very conservative friends are like, the whole world is fucked right now. We should just be grateful that nobody's pushed the button and we're all not fucking ogres and zombies and shit.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't feel like I was saying earlier, it's the same thing. Like, people today don't live in that constant state of fear that we used to. And yet, domestically, fear is kind of what keeps us alive. Like, people are afraid to speak their opinion because it can be viewed one way or another, you can be canceled, things like that. People who have actual political influence or social influence, unless they really get a following behind them, they're a traitor, or they're this, or they're that, or he, she's this, that. Somebody said something to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
Fuck them now. That kind of stuff really gets to me. Really gets to me.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't understand where that line is, because we used to be afraid of the world going to shit and exploding and literally just being destroyed.
Yeah.
And now we're more afraid of losing friends and followers on TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm a fairly intelligent person and I don't get it.
I don't really either. I mean, fucking, I don't know. Cancel culture is weird.
It's fucking,
It's like, it can just be turned on you so quick. And it's like, no. Wait.
Yeah. There's that whole... Okay, so you're on Facebook, but you don't really use it much.
Yeah.
You're on Instagram.
Yeah.
You see a lot there. Twitter.
Not really.
I mean, I know you read it, but I've never really. Have you ever been like a poster on there or anything like that?
Not really. only thing I use Twitter for is professional wrestling.
Fair. I remember you had, during your real heavy emo phase, you did a lot of posting back then.
Yeah.
I remember looking back at some of your, I remember there was a day we sat there just going, you bitch. I mean, but that was, years ago.
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking at, are you on TikTok?
Not really.
Snapchat?
No. I had stopped using Snapchat in 2014, 2015.
So right when I started using it, basically.
Yeah.
I use it because I can send funny shit without it being stuck out there for forever. So
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm exclusively on Instagram.
That's fair. Business, in particular, does not work the way that it used to.
Yeah.
We couldn't street produce. We couldn't go out and hang posters and do shit the way we used to, and it would not be effective
Yeah.
today. It wouldn't be.
No.
It has to be
Everyone's
online.
right here.
Yeah, everybody, even if they're out, they got their phone up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole new, there's a back condition being developed by people aged 14 to 22 from staring at their phones too much.
Yeah.
So, that being said, where do we find the line of real world versus online and what? Because we all know online is not real.
Yeah.
We all know that. Where do we find that line, and where is that truth? Because everybody's truth is their own.
Yeah.
So you don't use a lot of social media, and I don't think I've seen you post anything personal.
It's been a while. I don't post about my personal life.
Well,
I think the last thing I posted personal wise was on my old account, which I've since converted into something else. In a while. I just don't think it's anyone's business anymore.
There you go.
Like I separate online from real life. My personal self is like, if I'm not gonna tell this to fucking my best friend, I'm not gonna tell it to the internet.
Fair. Well, and I ended up talking to I mentioned this to Zach, and I mentioned it to, in talking to Keith. I mean, we all play a character.
Yeah.
I'm Psychotic, Leprechaun, Zach Fuck, he is Beecroft, he is your Nox, who that is versus the person you actually are.
Yeah.
There's becoming less and less of a correlation of it truly is becoming there's a chasm between the character that we play versus who we are.
Yeah.
Or they become the same person. For me, I'm the same person.
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic, so everything you see that I do, I have different areas, my Snapchat's my personal life and funny shit.
Yeah.
My TikTok is just purely for promotion for my photography. I use Twitter. I have 5 Twitter accounts because I got a music account, I got the photography account, I got the clothing line account, I got the podcast account, and then I got the account that nobody knows is me, which is really fun because
Nobody knows shit.
I'm like the anti-troll. I literally just do nothing but attack trolls.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's fun as fuck, and in a couple hours a week, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go make somebody cry. So I do that. It's cyberbullying, but only bullying bullies. So I feel like it's okay.
Cyber vigilante.
That sounds way cooler, but I would want a cape. I know they're just pointless to have, but I want a cape. Plus, me being kind of a cripple just feels wrong.
Trip over your cape.
Yeah, I get sucked into a vortex. There's this sense of real and this sense of what we're fed.
Yeah.
And too much. I don't regret having the online persona that I've had since MySpace. I don't regret it, but I don't know that I would do the same thing. Because I think it's feeding a monster. My thing is I'm pretty much 18 and up. I don't, I'm not safe for work.
Yeah.
I use fuck like a comma.
Yeah.
I don't want little kids following me. I mean, my kids even, I'm really careful with. I just recently accepted my stepson as a friend on Facebook simply because I was like, okay, you're old enough to understand what the fuck I'm talking about now. Let's have my son when he was 18. Now it's the battery. Fuck you too. No, I mean, it's those things. I think that there's a point where you step and go, okay, this is who I really am. This is what you get to see.
Yeah.
my personal life is nobody's business. You just said that. That's true. At the same time, I think that's what so many people now, like, they don't have a personal life unless it's online.
Yeah.
It's really
kind of. Yeah, there are people that are online that put their just like their whole life on social media.
That scares me. That legitimately scares me. I don't like that.
That's part of what this is now. I mean, how much longer until I'm just, fuck it, I'm gonna Ready Player One. And I'm just living in virtual reality.
Well, but that big message in that is at the end when they say, we unplug you for 2 days a week, so you're forced to be out there.
Yeah.
That's the big message that...
But
is
there anyone that's actually gonna do that?
I mean, of course, there's gonna be...
I mean...
Yeah.
There are people that are gonna be obsessed and they're not gonna unplug.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the number of people who fucking OD'd on Jolt Cola playing games and died in their homes in the last decade is tripled now. I love that I can say Jolt Cola to some people and they just know what I mean. Other people are like, what the fuck is that? I don't know. No, anyway. Give me 2 songs that you can't stop listening to.
2 songs. What is... God, I listen to so much music that's not anywhere. Probably Bite Swallow. Oh, wait, is it Bite Swallow? I'm always bad about names.
I suck at song titles, so...
Yeah, that's... No, Bite, Chew, Swallow by Fox Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, that song. And, let's just pick something from my repeat. Oh, no, actually.
Man, what the fuck happened to radio in Denver? There's not a good station at all.
Oh, no.
NPR, that's it.
Yeah, that's... yeah. So, yeah, no, radio's garbage.
I mean, even just 2 years ago, I was like, oh, this is still something. Not anymore. It sucks. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. I have to listen to fucking radio at work all the time. It's not fun.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, no. Bite, Chew, Swallow by Fox Lake, and, pretty much the whole Dying Lately, by I Am Jake Hill. That whole album.
Okay. That I can get on board with that for fucking sure. For fucking sure. Cool. Well, why don't you plug your social media since you only have the one and I can do that easy.
That's literally Nox Nohi everything. Nox Nohi.
There you go.
That's it.
That's easy enough to find. Because I know people are going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? That's my favorite. Man, I don't want to sound like a prick. I know you're all listening to this, but I have the weirdest fucking followers.
It's fine.
There's I up the audio version of episode 6 hit, and 3 seconds later I had to download in West Virginia. I don't know anyone in West Virginia. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know fucking clue.
What up, West Virginia?
Right. Like,
I mean,
love the episode.
The only thing I know about West Virginia is Chris Chan.
Oh, I mean
that's about it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I really didn't know. It was very strange to me, but that happens every time. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess, there's this little island off of Africa in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We've got a listener there.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just like, how did you find me? What the fuck? How is this? And those are the people who never talk to me. The people who do talk to me have listened to like one episode and like, are you going to do this episode and show boobs? No. Why not? She's hot. Because that's not what we're about. But boobs. Yeah, fuck. Those are the people that reach out. Those are the people who I want an episode to know about how many times she had an orgasm in this one scene. Shut up.
Like, why?
Yeah, people are dumb. Or when I do, like, people are always like, you should do an episode, and they bring up some really obscure Japanese artist or some fucking French politician. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I have 130 to 150 plays a day, not 150,000.
Real people, real talk.
Yeah. I mean, I feel lucky that I have so many friends that are like, yeah, absolutely, let's talk, let's do this, let's do that. And I do have some really great experiences there, but there's a whole lot of people where I'm just like, I don't get it. And it's the weird ones that are like, yep, let's do that. So, It's nonsense. It's supposed to be. So, on that note, I'm gonna, seeing as we're clicking in on the minute. It's just been a minute. Hour 45 here, so, which might be the second longest I've ever done. But we could probably talk for another 12 hours and still be relevant, at least interesting to each other.
Yeah.
There's that. I just do this as like audio masturbation. Actually, I'm gonna do that on camera because we can. I've been wanting to do this. I meant to do it with Zach and Keith, and I completely fucking forgot. I wanted to do this with Zach and Keith. I wanted to do the black contest.
The what?
Give me your best black.
Oh, okay. God.
Yeah, you have to do it on a point. That's the whole point. You can't warm up. You can't do anything. Just give me your best one.
Like you wanna?
I want a real one.
You wanna?
Yeah.
Or do you wanna?
Yeah. give me as much nutsack as possible in it. There we go. Yeah, I had to get that one on camera because everybody's. I want to do that with everyone because I'm gonna just make a stream of them. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can do like what that kid did with Ace. He had his baby.
Yeah.
I want to do something. Like if I can go da 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 da. If I can do that in black, I'm so happy.
That would be great.
This is where my brain goes. Drummer and I did a bunch of stuff that was burps and farts, and we recorded it, and nobody else listened to it but us, and then we deleted it when we were done. But it was like that was awesome. It was fun.
Now that's what the internet wants.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of your hair. It's gonna take me forever to load all this gear up and shit, and you're gonna have to carry it downstairs for me because I'm probably gonna fall. Let's just be honest. I'm clumsy, and you're in charge of gravity, so.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I know my son's gonna listen to this episode, and that right there is gonna trigger the shit. I was like, "Why did you do it at the end? Fuck you!" That's gonna be great. So that being said, everything going on. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for this. I know we were trying to do this in June.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Just didn't work.
Couldn't fucking do it because I was immobile when you were immobile, and you were working, and then I was working in life.
Life is no way of living. That's how it is.
I'd like to say that, it won't be another 5 years before we see each other, but who the fuck knows? Hopefully I see you out on the road and doing stuff, so.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's
do your shit, do your thing.
That's a thing.
Push what you need. Everybody check out his stuff, especially the new photography is really, the last month has been really fun to watch.
I got so much more shit to do. I'm getting into videography here real quick.
I'm getting back into videography. I'm doing 3 music videos, and I'm working on a couple of things myself that Amazon gave me a channel.
Yeah.
That's probably a mistake. The podcast's channel's decision is being made Monday, but they gave me the video channel. I can have my own, do all my postings, movies, whatever. And I've been working with Netflix and some stuff lately, so I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and see what I can do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Shoot some pilots, do some different shit, just cinematography-wise. But I usually end with don't ever feel alone and make sure you reach out. I feel weird saying that in this one because now I feel like we're all just in the Matrix and you should just don't unplug unnecessarily. We'll go with that one.
Reach out to yourself.
Yeah, that went dirty in my mind. Yeah, that was...
That's not what that was meant for.
Touch yourself with love! Yeah, we're gonna go bad. So, we're gonna end on this because that's just gonna get worse.
12 hours could go real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those we could have really...
This has gone long enough, so bring me down again just like you do when things get shaky. I'm sorry for the mood, but I've been dying lately. Cold shoulders and a lack of closure. My patience turned to paper, it's been awfully thin. I hate the way your halo shines so softly. It's hard to see the way with all the fog we're in. So tell me how you really feel, not what you think I wanna hear. I've done